Yeah. Yeah. It's been a minute. Yeah, that's true. It's been a minute. You could say I'm back in the New York groove. I'm not, but yeah, a couple weeks off. Had to do had other things that I had to do. So this was not one of them. Um, Hello, how's everybody doing? Nobody's here yet. Oh no, some people are watching. That's nice. That's nice. That's nice. Hank, how you doing? How you doing? Good morning to everyone in Mazda in Westwood. Hey, is the CX-50 like the fancy version of the CX-5? I saw one yesterday, and it looks a little smaller. It's like, welcome to Mazda Talk. Like the CX-30 is like a small version. It's like smaller than a. Is it a CX? Is that a CX-3? There's not a CX-3, right? No, this is a. I'm sorry. This is. You gives a shit. I like cars. One of the things that um, I remember it was in my baby book. Um, and a milestone. Like I remember my mom writing when I was around two that I would 2 to 3. I would know. Yeah, so I know that there's a CX. Okay, so the CX-3 is the smaller. Okay, so the CX-3 is the smaller version of like a CX-5, and then, but then I was wondering like, is a CX? There's the CX-30 is like it's the same car, right? But it's the fancy version, I'm guessing. And then like the CX-5, and then there's a CX-50, and I think the CX-7 was discontinued. There's a CX-9. Anyway, the CX-50 is a little more aggressive than the CX-5. Aggressive, like it's more like me, or um, it looks cooler. Yeah. Morning, catfish. Hmm. Aaron, Aaron Dennis. Good morning. Greetings, Stu. Not related to Disco Stu. Oh my God, what if he was? Stu, are you Disco Stu? Disco Stu doesn't advertise. Okay. The 30 and the 50 are built in the US. Are they? I didn't know that. Huh. Mike, good morning to you in Middle Georgia from a former car dealership employee. So this is okay, so this is all topical. Because like I've had my CX-5. It will be 10 years Memorial Day weekend. And like I can't afford to get a new car. But my CX-5 is a manual transmission because uh, I prefer it. And yeah, the CX-7 is long gone. Okay. Um, and I'm starting to notice a few things with the manual. Sometimes it doesn't like to go into first. Like you're in neutral, you put it into first, and like it's like there's something stopping you, and it's like these plates, like the plates don't engage or something like that. So like you can I can put it in second really quick, and then it'll slide up into first. That's not all the time, but it is some of the times. Um, so that's not great, and getting that sort of thing repaired. I think anything transmission related is gonna be. It's not. as old as the car is, it's not going to be worth it. So like what I'm getting to is, and I don't think it's going to have to be like anytime soon, but I'm going to have to get a new car. And so I like looking around at all these things. Oh, did I even mention the baby book thing? So like when I was 2, this is when my mom wrote it. So like, okay, I would call out the name, like I would recognize the names of cars. Like I would recognize cars and say, "Oh, that's a Beetle, and that's a Nova," or as much as a 2-year-old is going to. But like, it's I have documented proof somewhere that can call out names of cars, and like I don't know, I think that like that's kind of a weird thing. But I really do like I like cars. Um, and one of the things that I enjoyed while out of the country is like seeing other cars that I've never seen before. Like, oh, what are those logos? What's that logo? And it was a little different in France because I recognize the Citroen logo or Peugeot or Renault, and my dad had. When I must have been very small. My dad had a Renault, and I called it the Lion car because the logo was like I'm sorry, that's Thriller. But yeah, so I did see a CX-50 the other day, and it looked like the design was tweaked a little bit. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, and like the one thing I've noticed about the Mazda, like the metallic blue is really a good shade of blue, and the red is it's a good red, but I have a black one because just like my insides black. Okay, must have got it right after my last visit. Maybe, I don't remember. Did I have the Mustang when you were here? If so, then yes. Paul, happy weekend to you. Manual transmissions are great theft deterrents. They are. That's true. Yeah, I do have to say that I think I'm kind of. I think I've had my fill of manual transmissions. I've had 3 or 4. Just 3. And yeah, I sometimes I'm just kind of. Can I just be done with this? Shifting. So yeah, but yes, that is true. Not many people drive manual transmissions anymore, and nobody really. There are fewer and fewer manual options available. John, good morning. Let's go. Good morning, Rodrigo. How you doing? Happy weekend to you all. Chris, yo, how's that 625 treating you? Tell it I said hi. I liked that one. That was cool. Not going into first might be a bad synchronizer. Huh. It used to do it also like going from second to third. But yeah, but when I did find get it in second first and then push it in first, that's a good workaround. But yeah, that seems like it's going to be real expensive if I want to get that fixed. Well, that's interesting. It is interesting. How so? Is it like because it's like you constantly have to be focusing on something? I prefer a manual unless you're stuck. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. Good. I'm glad. Sure. Hey, girl. Um, Emery, I realized I missed your birthday yesterday. I'm very sorry. I hope that you had a lovely day, and thank you for reaching out the day previous. I appreciate that. Keeps the focus on driving. All right, good. I guess that's key. That's good. Something we should focus on. Love manual transmissions, but they are becoming more difficult to find. Yeah, that's true. I was surprised um, that I could get my CX-5 in a manual, but I did. And so, my story. The first time I drove a stick. Actually, that wasn't the first time, but the first car I bought with a manual transmission was a 1999 Mercury Cougar, and it was when they changed it was like a new, they kind of brought back the Cougar with like kind of like a sport looking kind of thing. And man, I gotta tell you, I thought those things were really, really neat. I thought they were really cool looking. I really wanted a silver one. Because it was like a good shade of silver, and to me, like in the commercials and all that stuff, like there was something about that car. I'm like, that thing looks dope. And also in like the late '90s, mid late '90s, a lot of the cars were all very rounded, a lot of rounded circles, rounded rectangles. Um, just like it wasn't mid '90s. I don't think was like a great time for auto design. Um, and the Cougar kind of it was different, and it looked a little different. And I'm like, that thing looks dope. And so the car that I had at the time was terrible, and I hated it. It was a neon, and it was like a year and a half old, and it blew a fucking head gasket. Yeah. And so I wasn't going to keep that car. And I was getting close to 30. And no, so let's see. Okay, so I was 27, 20, yeah, this is 90, 99. I would have turned 28. I think I got it in, yeah, I think before, oh, who cares? Um, and I felt that like I should know how to drive stick. Like in I had driven cars that were automatic before, like not real well, and like But anyway, it was like one of those things. Like I should know how to do this, and so I went to this Mercury dealer before I went to work at Cellular One in Schaumburg, Illinois. Cellular One was the cellular carrier, the main cellular carrier in Chicago, them and Ameritech, which I think later became something else and then became Verizon. And Cellular One became Singular, which then became AT&T. This is really like, who gives a shit? And so I went to the car dealer, and on my way in, it was a Tuesday, and so it's Tuesday morning. I'm in this Mercury dealer, and I'm like, "Hey, I want a Cougar, but like a manual." And the guy's looking. He's like, "Okay, so I've got like one manual, and it's blue." And I'm like, "I want a silver one, but like, okay." And you want to drive it? And I'm like, can I just drive it around the parking lot? Like, I don't really know how to drive stick, and can I just drive it around the parking lot? And the sales guy, he's like, come on, I'll show you. My sales guy taught me how to drive stick. What that guy was great. I'm disappointed that I have since forgotten his name. But so he took me out. We're driving around Schaumburg, up and down Gulf Road and all that stuff. Tuesday morning, learning how to drive stick, and so I think that's how I got it. And so then like on my lunch breaks and stuff, after I got the car, I would practice driving, and then I would have a couple friends of mine, Scott, Mad Dog, and Carlos. They would also kind of like help me, teach me how to drive stick. Yeah, and no, there's a part of me that thinks like Mad Dog used to teach me a little bit because he had a Mitsubishi Galant that was a stick, and he used to maybe kind of try and teach me like all around that time. But anyway, so I had my Cougar, and man, that car was great to me. I loved that thing, but it was on a lease, so I had to get rid of it. And I'm so sorry. This is terrible. Like, I'm just talking about, and I had this car, and then I had this car. Let's see. We've got. I love manual transmissions, but yeah, okay. Oh yes, good. Good morning to you. That was a bitchin' car. My Cougar, yeah. Oh, or the Mustang. The Mustang was bitchin'. I did like the Mustang. Steve-O, good afternoon to you. Girl, that hair. This hair is I truly woke up. I woke up at like 9:15, which is very unlike me. I'm usually up pretty early. Rounded circles as opposed to square circles. You know what I mean? Everything was like really blob, like everything was real rounded, like rounded square. You know what I mean? Like think of like the 90s like Ford Taurus that was just like ubiquitous. Ooh, that's early for that more. My first car was a 76 Mustang 2 Ford 4-speed stick with a V6. Check you out. We had one years ago and loved it. Only issue we had was failed ECU. I don't know what that is. Got salvage yard for $300. The Cougar was a great car and surprisingly practical for a coupe. Yeah, man, that thing was great. I had two of them. So my lease was up. So I had to trade. I had to bring it back in, and I wound up buying a black one. And they didn't have a manual transmission. So I had an automatic. That black one was bitchin'. Had some little extras on it because like my blue one was like absolute straight up base model. The black one had some little extras on it, and that thing was cool. I think it was really cool. I liked that car a lot. And then I got a Honda Element. The Element of Surprise, dude. I loved that fucking car. Loved. And I see them out and about still. Like, they discontinued that thing like 10 years ago. And I'm like, check you guys out with your Elements of Surprise. Man, looking good. That's what might look like if Darth Vader fucked a toaster. And that's what I was driving because it was all black. That thing was great. And it had... Of all the cars that I've had, it had like the best stereo system, the best factory stereo system. That thing was killer. Love the Element of Surprise. Also on a lease. So when that lease was up, I got a Mustang. It was a 2011. That one was stick. Blue. Two things that were not great about it. The seats. They were not great. And towards the end of... that one also a lease? I think so. Towards the end of the lease, it started having like a throttle issue where like we're just driving and then all of a sudden it goes into like low power mode and it was like and you can't drive it faster than 20 miles an hour. There's no warning it's going to happen. It was really. I took it to a few places to try and get fixed, and it was not not really great. And that one was a lease. I had a few cars on a lease for a while. Lease was up. I got the CX-5, and that thing's been great. So yeah, good times. A long time ago, I worked at a Lincoln Mercury deal. I fell in love with four-cylinder turbo Cougar. Yeah, man, those things were good. I didn't know that they did turbo Cougars. It'd be a good band name, like a stoner band name. I think, like Turbo Cougar. Yeah, your logo, the album cover would be like a van, like a cool van with like a dragon fucking a tiger or something on it. I don't know. Toyota is offering the Tacoma as a manual. Huh. That's cool. Well, yeah. Sounds like a Larry. I think his name was Dennis. I think his name was Dennis. I think so. My last Tacoma was manual. I think it was a 2001. I have automatic now, 2014. We had a Tacoma as a rental when Mrs. Sully and I were in Cincinnati for Thanksgiving. I'm not a big pickup truck guy. And like when I didn't select, I rented a car. It was kind of like mystery deal kind of thing. We're only gonna be there for a couple of days. I'm like, what do I care? We're not driving it, or doing a whole bunch of driving. And it was like, your mystery deal is a pickup truck. And I went and I'm like, dude, can I swap for something other than a pickup truck? And they're like, well, all of the mystery deals are pickup trucks. So, I mean, you can switch, but you're going to get another pickup truck. So I drove it. And I eventually got used to it. It wasn't bad. Had that also with a, what's the one that Adam wants? The Toyota 4Runner, I think. It's the one larger than a RAV4. My car was in the shop in early January of last year because that poor thing. And so they gave me this 4Runner, and like the thing was massive. It was huge. Like I almost couldn't park it in the garage. Like I would have to pull into the garage. I would have to get out, go look at the back of the thing to make sure that the door there was clearance. Like that thing was huge. But I got used to it. I'm like, yeah, I kind of like this. I would never want to like back into anything. But yeah, it was cool. I looked at a recent Tacoma insane green color and hated the color. Price wasn't right, and we were pulling. Oh, looking at a car for her. Yeah, okay. My first car was a German Golf, 1000 cc, and you can go for 1,000 miles just with a drop again. Nice. Oh, a Volkswagen. Is it Golf? Yeah. Mrs. Sully had one of those. Good morning. So this all over the map type chat is my kind of idea for a podcast. Yeah, I mean this isn't really any different from a podcast. Someone asked me yesterday. A very thoughtful person reached out and like, hey, you ever think of being on podcasts? There's so many like on YouTube, like the Know Your Gear Dude, and there's 18 million of them. You can't throw a cat without hitting one. Don't throw cats. I don't even know why that would be a saying. But yeah, we have this. Have a Tacoma with a manual. It's an 06. All right. Can't beat a Tacoma. All right. The Tacoma fans. Cars. See, thank you, Catfish. They looked like jelly beans. Mercury had another brand name, Mercure. I remember a Mercure. Yeah. The Element and the Ridgeline are weird looking but cool cars. Dude, I loved the Element of Surprise. I loved that thing. I loved that thing. Really? Yeah. Oh, I mean, I guess it's kind of rare here too. So it's it's all kind of the same. Two Subaru WRXs. All right. Jeep Renegade. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. She needed the manual too. She's a good woman like that. Yeah, Mrs. Sully. She's like, so her car now is automatic, but I know she had a Rabbit that was manual, and I want to say her Lancer was a manual too, but yeah. Mazda 3. Yeah, the 6-speed manual, man. Like those Mazda 3, like those little zippy cars. And I know that they had their whole like, zoom zoom kind of, branding thing. That was true. Like those things would move. So that's cool. Ah, all right. Turbo Cougar. It's a fun name for a finish. Hey, Alice. Chris. Get a boogie van. That's right. Good morning, Dave. First car was a 69 Cougar. Still have it today. That's nice. Lola had a Rabbit. Yeah, she did. She did indeed. And I think I remember that also being like part of, so her tie to being a bunny mascot. I remember that was part of it, because I remember when she got that car, I found a Lola Bunny sticker that was going to go on it, but she never put it on. Because she just liked the sticker too much, and she's like, "Well, I want to keep the sticker." I'm like, right. But yes, for those of you that don't know, Mrs. Sully in the mid 90s skated in the Ice Capades, and their show, it was a multi-themed show, but it was all Warner Brothers stuff. So it was Space Jam and Batman, and she was Lola Bunny, and she was also Tweety. And then on the Batman side, she was kind of like did like a utility role. And she was also Harley Quinn's understudy. So yeah, when Space Jam came out, when they redid Space Jam, and they kind of redrew all the characters, and I know that there was like all this whole thing about like the redesign of Lola. Mrs. Sully did not like the redesign of Lola. But because she's like, but anyway, but yeah. So as far as colors go, Lola Red is for Mrs. Sully, because red is one of, if not her most favorite color. And usually with cars, her current car is not red, but she would always get red. Yeah, CX-30. Pretty cool. Yeah, I am kind of getting an itch for, maybe you should take a shower, for a new car, but like it's super not in the cards. But like, especially like, I've done a fair bit of, car rental in the past few years, just from being out and about. And I remember when I got my car, like, it's like, oh, you want the Bluetooth? I'm like, nah. You want the navigation system? Nah. Because like, really, I'm not trying to spend like $18 million fucking dollars on a car. But yeah, I wish I had like that Apple CarPlay thing, because that thing's dope. And I know I've seen this. I found on Amazon where you can get like the head unit, the OEM head unit for like the Apple CarPlay thing for a Mazda CX-5, and like it'll fit right in the, but then I'm like, I don't know how to do that stuff. And then there's a part of me that's like, how hard can it be? And then I'm like, yes, you could probably do it over a weekend, but like, you don't know what you're doing. Well, but I don't know what I'm doing ever. Yeah, I know. But like, let's just contain. Let's try and keep ourselves contained with the doing things we have no idea what we're doing list. We don't have to continually add to the doing things that you have no idea what you're doing, right? I guess. But like, I would like to have that CarPlay thing. Maybe you could have somebody install it for you. I mean, I don't know who could do that. I don't know. Anyway, see, my last three. Yeah, yes. The red crystal. It's freaking sweet. It's a great red. It's like it's good. It's almost like a Christmas ornament red. Buy a CPO. Usually a better warranty. Apple CarPlay is very easy. What's a CPO? What is a CPO? See, but now you're feeding into like this. I'm going to add to my list of things I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm going to do it anyway. Mazda comes loaded if you don't want the turbo for under 30. Huh. Yeah. Yeah, I can't do it. Replace a head unit in my two. See, you guys. I mean, I appreciate the help. I feel like if you can build a guitar, you can figure it out. I mean, right? I mean, this is not the craziest thing. Central purchase order. Wait, what? I don't know what that. Okay, certified pre. Okay, dude, that's what I'm thinking. Have him do it. He'd be real polite, and I don't like this idea. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Paul asked about the bandsaw video, and sure, we can talk about that. So what you saw be cut up into little teeny tiny bits were things that were not viable. And so a lot of times when that happens, for whatever reason, they'll go on shelves. And it's like, maybe we can kind of do something. Maybe we can make this one. Maybe we can just put it over there. I got a lot of stuff that's just over there. And so I'll bore you the misery details, but like these past few months have been very rough, very, 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 very rough. And there are in running. How do I best phrase this? a lot of mistakes get made that all tie back to me. And it's generally because I've got way too much on my plate. And when I say that, it's not like I've got too many orders and we can't get through it. It's not. That's not that. That's fine. But it's the everything, all of the aspects of things, and I'm trying to got to keep a lot of plates spinning, and I am not a good multitasker, and quite frankly, I don't think anyone is, because just because I don't, but I'll go through a bunch of CAD stuff and make tool paths for things. And it's like, okay, so let's say we have a 624. Those are things. And let's say we need to make one maybe in a shorter scale, or something that isn't that requires me to kind of do some work with it, and so I'll take our 624 file, save it as a new, and that has all of the toolpaths and all the files, and like I do my best to keep these files clean, but like stuff gets copied into them, and they can get there can be like a lot of things that are kind of tough to sift through. And so, let's say this particular short scale 624 is a middle pickup only, has a different control layout, but in the file I've got the original thing, so it's got here's the pickups, here's the original control layout, and and all of the other tool paths, like they're still in the new file. So that can be helpful, can be my friend, and it can be my enemy. Because let's say, okay, so I've got the middle pickup determined, I've got the scale length changed, and changed the neck pocket and where the bridge has to go, and so then where the pickup has to be, and because you have to do all that, and so I've got this standard control layout, but we only want like one volume knob, so that's fine. I don't have to make a whole new toolpath for it. I don't have to delete the ones that we're not going to drill. I just go to that toolpath, open it up, and select the control geometry. In other words, tell it what I want it to cut. And I just select the one volume knob. And then you regenerate it. So it's just the volume knob. And then you've got to post that toolpath. Maybe you forget to generate it and you click save instead, and then you post it. And so save and generate, two different things. So then, we get the body blank ready. Adam's running the CNC because Adam primarily runs the machine. I think he does it maybe, well, as certainly as much as I do, maybe a little bit more. And so, he might come back to me and say, this one was a one volume knob, right? Yeah. I don't know what happened, but it ran a standard control cavity, a standard control layout. Fuck. So, and this is a fictional guitar. Like, this is not something that's going to be ordered. So what that means is now, in order to make that thing, well, so number one, it's no good, because this is a one middle pickup and a one volume knob. There's no switch, there's no nothing. So we're making this fictional guitar for a fictional client, and it's a real weird one, and now it's no good. So this thing is no use to me. Could you just make a short scale 624 and put the other pickups in? Yes, sure. Nobody is ever asked for a short scale 624, but yeah, we can do it. But anyway, so there are little things like that. Maybe I'll spend an entire day working on a new guitar for somebody that is a combination of a few different models. And again, I spend all day doing that. I get this thing on the machine and we get the back operations done and we flip it over, and then I realize that the blank is not positioned on the table as such that, or the blank is positioned on a table in a manner that when we do the final perimeter, we don't have enough wood. In other words, like, yeah, sometimes that thing just, I don't know, might get ripped off the CNC machine and smashed on the floor on Monday. Yeah, so it's not just that one thing happening. It's things like that happening on a regular basis. These are symptoms of someone who is completely overwhelmed. So that Wednesday, and there's other stuff, like maybe I order some parts that come in and they're wrong. Or maybe I get half of something because it's on back order and I really needed all of that thing to finish something. And maybe I can't talk about that. There are other very, very frustrating, incredibly frustrating things that occur. And a lot of those things happen in a very short amount of time. And yeah, anyone that runs their own business will tell you that it is incredibly difficult. And it's difficult enough on its own without things like this happening. So Wednesday, I went in. I didn't want to, but I went in, and I'm just like, let's go through, and let's just cut these fucking things up. The things that were, again, not viable. They're never going to work out. For whatever reason, without having a lot of work put in them. And, there's a certain amount of things, like if that you can kind of make work. But like if you're putting a bunch of work into something at this early in the process, I kind of look at it as you're working on the foundation. And it's not to say that, it's not to say that sometimes you need to kind of make something work on the foundation, but there's only so many things, like, so like, for example, if you have like something kind of splinter out a little bit, that, and I'm talking about fine little teeny tiny things, you can maybe kind of, get back together and stuff like that. And when I say this, like I'm being purposefully vague because it's like I don't have an example that I can share with you right now. But there are sometimes you can make it work without it becoming a whole thing. Other times, most times, it's just easier to start again. Put it aside, start again. Use the yeah. And so I went in and just started grabbing stuff that wasn't going to become what they were supposed to, what they were intended to, and just ran them through the bandsaw. Some of those things, most of those things, actually all of those things are well over a year old. Maybe not well over a year old. Some of those things, some of those things are like well over a decade. Like this, probably like the second 624 body I made. It wasn't viable, wasn't going to be without, work. And even putting work into it with paint, after paint, it's still going to be a little janky. And, remember, kids, paint doesn't fix your colors. It just doesn't fix your problems. It just changes your problem's color. So that's what that was. Was it satisfying? No. Was it a tension release? No. Did it make everything better at the end? No, not at all. But I did. I was super fucking sick of looking at them. And the funny thing is, there's still plenty more. There are, and there's a few more that I can go through, which I guess is good. There have been in the past, guitars that really shouldn't have gotten as far as they did in the process, but I didn't necessarily realize it until after they've been painted. There was about 3 or 4 of those. And, there's things that I find out like in the assembly process. I'm like, oh, and these are things that are years old. These all of these things are things that can be used against me on the internet. Oh, he doesn't know what he's doing. No shit. Neither do you. And I'm speaking in general. Nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. If anybody tells you that they know what they're doing, they're wrong. And so, now I've got this lovely painted thing that is bad. It's bad. And, wouldn't necessarily have the heart to run it through a bandsaw, but they lived in the closet for years, and those became smashing guitars, and those absolutely got smashed on the floor of the garage. When I was having moments like what I have been having. I don't enjoy smashing things. I don't find it a way to deal with things. I think it's a very poor way to deal with things. I do. I'm somewhat envious of the people who can handle who can handle adversity. Some people when they get some bad news, they explode like a George Costanza. Some people are more measured and can have a more measured response and can maintain a cool head. My son is one of those people. I am not one of those people. I am explodey, Mr. Explodey. And as fun and as lighthearted as I keep these things in general, and the what I project, that's genuine. I like to think I'm a horrible person, but at least I'm nice, and I try and be entertaining. But I am I'm an absolute exploder, and that's not good. I don't. That's not one of the things I like about myself. I think it's childish. I think it's stupid. But uh, I don't. That's where I'm at. That's where I've been at. Um, so yeah, that's been like where I've been operating at for, just kind of at this insanely high stress level, um, for a very long time, at least most of this year, and a lot of it before last year. But yeah, so that's what you saw. That is the Wednesday morning bandsaw story. It was funny, I put it on TikTok as well, and and the title of the caption was like, "On Wednesdays we purge," because I think that's from like Mean Girls, but it's like, "On Wednesdays we wear pink," or something like that. And TikTok did not like. I think TikTok did not like the use of the word purge in the the descriptor. And it took me a minute to figure out, because I'm like, this thing's not getting any views whatsoever, which is very, that's um like it's like nothing, which is a little strange. And I realized, I'm like, on Wednesdays we purge. That, that could hit this is a eating disorder filter. You know what I mean? So no, I'm not making myself throw up on Wednesdays. I make myself sick every day, but I don't make myself throw up. And naturally, a lot of the comments, the one that this cracks me up always, and I get this whenever, if I post something that's smash, you should donate it to a school. What the fuck is a school gonna do with this, huh? That is the dumbest. I mean, like, I get it. Like, it's like, give it to a wood shop. Maybe they could do something with it. Okay, so I'm good. Hello, school. I'd like to speak to your wood shop. Oh, you don't. Oh, of course you don't have one of those. Okay, yeah. Hello, school. I'd like to speak to your wood shop. Oh, I'm sorry, my mistake. Hello, school. Oh, yes, no, I'm sorry, I misdialed. Hello, school. Yes, can I speak to your wood shop? Oh, you have one. Huh. Can I speak to him? Okay. Happy to hold. Yes. Hello. Hi. I'm calling from Sully Guitar. No, I know you don't know what that is, and that's fine. I don't know who you are either, Mr. Burkhart. He was my woodshop teacher in 7th grade. He didn't like me. Say, I have some guitar bodies that are completely worthless, that I would like to give you for the students. For the kids. Could I would like to give them to the kids. Donate it to a school. Being altruistic and shit. Yeah, it is a real weird suggestion. No, I totally do understand that you do have a curriculum and a lesson plan, and you're not just sitting around waiting for people to call and offer you their failures. Yeah, no, I get it. No, you're right. I am the asshole here. Uh huh. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Okay. I agree. This was a complete waste of your time. Hmm. Mine too. But I wanted to donate for the kids. I know the kids don't care. Okay, thanks. Bye. Scene. Oh man, I was trying to end this, and like there was no way to kind of do that cleanly. So that's yeah. I don't. Tell me. Oh, you know what? The that was automatically populated. Um, but yes, I like to in like reels and stuff. I always like to use like so like that was classical kind of music. I always like to use like lo-fi like beats, just because I think it's a nice it's a nice it's a nice little yeah mix. Uh, Learn to stop smashing things after broken hand. See, like I don't hit things. Um, yeah, I don't do that. Um, which is, I mean, I guess that's good. Yeah, same. Agreed. Got to be good for something. Uh, ugh, the dreaded L word. Johnny, he didn't pass you to the music department. No. Passing on a guitar body next is a stupid idea anyway because it assumes someone who's at the school knows what the next step is. My man! Yeah. Sure thing. What the fuck are we gonna do with this? Well, you could like make a box or something out of it. With all these cavities in the middle of it, you've given me like this much of usable surface area. Dumb idea. I'll also be, can we have it as a wall hanger? No, because I'm not going to like just no. Because like the other thing is like when we find out something's not viable, we're not going to work on it anymore. We're not going to sand it. We're not going to fucking paint it. We're not going to put binding on or any of that stuff. And like, it's going to go over there and sit and think about what it's done. But yeah, making a birdhouse. Let's complete it. Right. They can make clocks. I guess sure. But yeah, I'm not going to. And a lot of people, and this I do understand. See, and that's this. This is like the other thing. Dave, wait, here we go. It's not. I don't want. If something becomes, damn it, if something becomes like a wall hanger, it still needs to be a completed thing. It needs to be a complete viable thing because let's say I make a guitar as a wall hanger. I don't do the frets. I don't intonate it. I still gotta, put, parts and whatever. I don't wire any of that stuff. That guitar is going to still exist after its owners are dead and gone. That thing needs to be able to play because in some silly way, my name is on it. And I know that like when I'm gone, no one's going to care about that sort of thing, but it does need to be a viable instrument. Waste of time. Yep. That's also true. Okay. That's the end. I hope you have a nice day. I got to take a guitar to get plecked. I don't want to show you, but I'll give you this little bit. Wait, where's that? Oh, it's not showing.